Hello, I have made this video to discuss a few properties which are important but kind of easy. So what I would recommend is, like, if you find these topics, these properties you already understand, you may skip the relevant property in question. All right. So let's. So we have. I know we started with the discrete random variables and then we went to jointly distributed random variables. Now let's for a moment come back to the single random variable case. Okay, so in the single random variable case, so let's talk about a very particular representation, a function of the random variable x in this manner. Okay, so where x is a random variable, of course, a comma b are constants. Okay, so a comma b belong to the real numbers, for instance. All right, so this is a new random variable y, and we know how to find the expectation of y and all those, but the properties that I'm going to prove in the first segment, so this is segment 1. So the properties that I'm going to prove first is expected value of y is equal to a times expected value of x plus b, that's 1, and variance of y is a square variance of x. So before you jump off, if you are already familiar, let's just think about it a little bit, right? So suppose x is the distribution of heights. So if I displace, let's say I make everybody in the class, so let's say distribution of height in a class, and if I make everybody stand on a stool, then the expected value of the class will shift by that particular amount. So this is no surprise, right? Whenever you add a constant to original random variable, it is going to shift. All right. Even this is also true. So if I say x is like expected money that I am making in rupees, and then I multiply it by 100, that becomes like expected value in paise. All right. So that also expected value of y will become like 100 times expected value of x, where x is the income in rupees. So this first thing is not a surprise at all. And variance of y, when you have a transformation like this, see, plus b is merely shifting the distribution. So what was something like this just gets shifted by, so this is, let's say, 0, but when I add plus b, it just gets shifted, right? So this is 0, and then this whole thing gets shifted by plus b, right, if b is positive, or similarly negative if b is negative. So it's no surprise that the plus b does not actually change any of the variance, so to speak. All right, so this is the first property. Let's try to prove it formally. So if you are familiar with the proof, you can choose to skip it, but I'm just going to discuss this once for all, because the ideas here are interesting and you must know how it works. All right, so expected value of y is nothing but expected value of ax plus b, and this we know how to do, right? So this is a small x plus b into the PMF of x. All right, and this is what the thing is. Now ax plus b into px, so we can distribute this, so you will get ax px of x plus b times px of x. So I am summing over all possible values of x, and now a we can take common, and then and b common. Now we are done, as you can probably guess, because this is nothing but expected value of x, this is nothing but equal to 1. All right, so you have the desired result. So we have proved the first part. So let's look at the second part. So variance of y, that is nothing but expectation of y minus ey whole squared. Okay, what is expect y is nothing but ax plus b minus Ey is a times Ex minus b. See, now we can continue simplification with the expected value of x itself, but for this particular like proof, I am going to take the long approach so that you get comfortable with the long approach, which is I will open the expectation. I will write the definition of expectation here itself. So what is that? I sum over all x, ax plus b. Okay, I made a mistake. This has to be small x because now we are looking at the specific values. Okay, minus ex is a constant, so that remains as it is. So minus b and plus b comes here, so we can now cancel it. Okay, and then ex of small x. All right, now you can see we can do more simplification. This becomes, so this whole square, of course. So ax minus aex, so I can take a common, so that becomes a square x minus ex whole squared dx of x. So we will take the a squared outside, and now we have x minus ex whole squared dx of x. This now we know is nothing but a squared into expected value of x minus ex whole squared, right? So that is nothing but variance of x. Okay, so we have proved the first property completely. All right, so let's go and prove the second property. All right. Okay, so the next property that we will prove is property 2, again single random variable, and the property that we would like to show is like variance of x is equal to expected value of x squared minus ex whole squared. Okay, now first thing you need to observe is that ex squared is basically I am taking x squared and taking the expectation with respect to it. Ex is a constant, this is a constant. Okay, this is constant square, and this is expectation of a random variable y, which is equal to x square. All right, so these are two different numbers. You cannot cancel it and all. All right, so let's start with the definition of LHS, which is variance of x. So what is this? This is expected value of x minus ex whole squared. All right, so this is what we have to do. Now let's open it. So what is this? This is x minus ex, which is again a constant, dx of x. I am taking sum over all x. Okay, now we can for a given x we can expand this. So this is x squared minus 2x ex plus ex whole squared, this whole thing into px of x. Okay, all right, so starting from here, let's distribute this x. So this is x squared dx of x, that's the first term, minus, so 2 and ex is common, is a constant, so 2 ex we will take out, and then the summation will have x dx of x, sum over all x, and then finally plus ex whole squared is a constant, and then we are taking sum over all dx of x. So now again we can see this is equal to, the first term is equal to e of x squared, right? The second term, the first part of it remains as it is, which is e of x. This second term over here is actually ex again, and then this is ex whole squared, and this whole thing is sums to 1, that is the property of PMF. Now this becomes ex squared minus 2 ex whole squared plus ex whole squared. So that, so these two are actually the same, one is minus, another one is plus, so we get the desired result. Okay, so this is a useful simplification. Okay, this lets you calculate some of the properties easily. So this by this we have finished the second property. Okay, so let's move on to the third property. So the third property, for the third property we have to come to jointly distributed random variables. Okay, so for this third property. So let's consider x comma y comma z. Let's say the joint PMF for this is given by this. Alright, so this xyz has a joint PMF of this form. So since it's a PMF, again we are talking in the discrete case. Okay, and what we would like to do is we would like to show that we would like to compute what is the expectation of this function. Here a, b, c and d are constants. So let's apply the definition. So I mean, you can guess what this expectation will be. It's a times expectation of x plus b times expectation of y plus c times expectation of z plus d. That's what is the answer we are expecting. But let's just do this. So it's going to be sorry, one too many. So you are going to sum over all possible values of x, y and z, b, y, c, z plus d times p of x comma y comma z, z. Sometimes that is called as z, so I sometimes use it interchangeably, but anyway, so this is the definition. Alright, now again we will distribute this quantity, and this is a cumbersome notation to write every time, so I will take a shorthand of this and write it as x comma y comma z. Okay, and a is a constant, so a we can pull out. This becomes I'm just writing the definitions here. So there are two more terms, so let's do that. C times and then plus d times, okay, so p x y z of x comma y comma z. So now what we can do is like we can divide. So let me just simplify one of this for you, and the other one will follow similarly. We can get the desired answer. So let me just simplify this one separately. Okay, so this one I will just simplify over here. So this is going to be, so we will now break out of the notation. So we will write it as this. See, I have written as though we are summing z first, then y, and then x. This can be interchanged. Okay, it's just a bunch of sums. You can do it any order you want. Right now we don't need that property, but for proving the other two we will need this. So this one, since x is not relevant in the sum of y and z, we can pull this out. Okay, so now if you observe this box, okay, so this is like I am summing for a given value of x, that is here, I am summing over all possible values of y and z, y and z. So that is nothing but marginalization. So when you sum that out, you will get okay, so that's what you will get, and that is nothing but ex. Okay, so finally if you come to this original equation, we can write this as aex plus bey plus cez plus d, because this summation is equal to 1. I am summing over all possible x, y and z of the PMF. So this proves a property that is related to joint PMF. Okay, so let's move on to the next property. So so looking back, this was property number 3. So now we are going to do property number 4. Let me choose. So property number 4. So now we will prove things with conditioning. So there will be several properties I will prove here, yeah. So first one, let's say AIs with value I equal to 1 to capital N is a partition of the omega. Alright, so there is a partition of omega. Then X is a random variable from omega to R. So these two are important statements. Now what we are going to do is like PMF of X, Px of small x is equal to P of AI into like this. Okay. So let's draw the picture. So you have omega, and then you have this partitions somewhat like this. So what this is saying is, so let's say I am interested to find out what is the probability that x is equal to small x. Okay. So what I am going to do is I am going to find out what is the probability that x is equal to small x given I am in A1 class, or given I am in A2 class, given I am in A3 class. So each of this probability I will take, and then I will take weighted average with respect to this class itself. Alright, so this is the idea. I guess the execution will be also interesting. So let's see. Okay, so here x is a constant. Alright, so let's try to do that. So LHS is equal to probability that x is equal to a constant x. Now we have already seen in earlier, whenever you have a partition, you can take the intersection, right? So we can do something like this: x is equal to x intersection AI equal to 1 to n. So this was in your assignment too. This was one question that I had asked you to prove. Okay, so that's good. So let's see what we can do with this. So this is nothing but I equal to 1 to n. Okay, so P of x equal to x and AI. Now this we can split it as P of AI into P of x equal to capital X equal to small x conditional on AI. Right? This is again a rule that we have proved much earlier, and that's it. So now we are done. So this is nothing but I equal to 1 to n P of AI into, this is nothing but the conditional PMF of x given AI of small x. So that's it. So this is going to be Px of x. Okay, so weighted average over all of these AIs. That is what you have to take. So this was property number 4. Okay, so moving on to property number 5. So property number 5 is going to be involving multiple random variables with conditioning. So you have the joint PMF of x and y in this way. So what you are going to do is you are going to show this is equal to Py of y into Px given y of xy. Alright. So this is again very easy. It's just a definition, but let's just do the steps anyway. So LHS is equal to, okay, so this is nothing but probability that x is equal to x and y is equal to y. Okay, so this again using the definition of conditioning, we can write this as, so that's it. So this is nothing but Py of small y into, this is Px given y and x y. So this is just a notation. This represents probability this. Okay, so that's it. So this is property number 5. Okay. Now let's do immediately one more property which is kind of straightforward from here, which is property number 6. So that is Px of x is equal to sum over all y, Py of y into Px given y. Okay, this is what we want to prove. So how do we prove this? We know that Px of x is just sum over y, Px comma y of xy. So you sum over all possible value of y. Now using property number 5 that we have just shown, if we apply that here, we get the desired answer, Py of small y into Px given y of, that's it. So this proves property number 6. Okay, so further there are a few more properties. These are again easy, so let's do those as well, and then let's finish this discussion. So the next property that I'm going to do, so these things you can do it yourself, but I just wanted to, for the sake of completeness, finish this. Alright, 7. So E of x, okay, let me do one thing, let me take a break here, and I will again resume from here. Okay.